YouTubers, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, depending on the time that you watch this video, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Wangethi Muthoni. Here we are all about positive energy. We are all about helping you connect to yourself, connect to your creator, and also connect to your destiny. So guys, today we are going to talk about limiting beliefs. And what are limiting beliefs? Let me tell you that right after this intro. In case you're new here and you have not subscribed, why don't you first click that subscription button? And in case you're an old gang member, thank you so much for coming back. I always appreciate having you on board. Going to talk about limiting beliefs. And what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are something or things that you believe either about yourself or about the environment that you're living in that limits you from achieving the potentials and the abilities that are in you. For example, you may be wanting to write a book. Your limiting belief could be, people don't read books in Kenya. Maybe you are Kenyan, people don't read books in Kenya. That is a limiting belief that will keep you away from writing that book. You may be an artist, you are gifted in singing. You may be wanting to sing, but there's a limiting belief. Well, they're big celeb singers. I'm not at that level. That is a limiting belief. Limiting beliefs basically prevent you from becoming the best version of yourself. They may not just come from within you, they may also come from your environment. For example, I am an Akureno, and some years back, it was believed that women should not do preaching. It was the role of the men. So if I was in that environment and I held on to that belief, well, it's a good belief. That means that if God had given me an ability to preach, that means I would not be able to execute it. Okay, that is something that has changed. So if I could have held to that belief, that means I could not have been able to maybe achieve what God had called me to do. Beliefs may also be spiritual, maybe religious or spiritual, but mostly I will encourage you to always hold on to your spiritual values rather than your religious values. Sometimes religious values are very limiting. So the first question, I want us to walk through a process that will help you be able to overcome your limiting belief and be able to help you realize that those limiting beliefs are not worth it. Okay, the first thing, I want you to write this down if you can, or maybe just create time, that simple time, you're just you and yourself. And the first thing I want you to ask yourself, what are my limiting beliefs? Write them down. Are they social? Are they personal? Are they environmental? Are they religious? What are your limiting beliefs? The second thing I want you to ask yourself, what have holding on to those beliefs cost you? Yes, what have holding on to those beliefs cost you? Okay, for example, okay, like me, I'm a motivational speaker, and many other times before I used to feel that, well, I don't think I really can make a good motivational speaker because I'm so scared, because maybe I'm not perfect, maybe I'm different, maybe as in how will people take me out there. You know, like motivational speaking, you want to go out to the world, you just don't want to go to your society. You want to reach out many people, and you find that, well, I have to go with my society with me because I got my turban. That simply tells me, you know what, you're an Akureno. And people, I didn't know how people could have taken that, and somehow it held me back. So the first thing that it cost me time. It cost me time because when I could have started is not the time that I started. And if I started that time that I was actually thinking of starting, then I could be way gone. I could actually have been way developed. I could actually be more better than I am today. Yes? What are those limiting beliefs costing you? They may be costing you money. They may be costing you your energy. They may be costing you your happiness. Maybe you want to venture into something, but you're like, I don't think it will work out. You know, holding on to that belief is not going to help you. Ask yourself, what has those limiting beliefs cost you? Okay, so what has holding on to those beliefs cost you? The other thing I want you to ask yourself, what pleasure would I get from shifting from those beliefs? What pleasure could I get from shifting to those beliefs? Maybe, for example, like I gave you the first example, you want to write, but you are limited by the belief that Kenyans don't read. Okay, so, and you overcome that belief and you are like, I want to go past this belief, and you venture into writing. Well, you may be shocked that actually Kenyans don't read, but you may also get surprised that there is a good percentage of them that read. So your first book might not do so well, and your second book might not do so well as well. But with time, the more you interact with people and people give you feedback about your writing, then you realize that, well, maybe my approach was the problem. Maybe the way I wrote was the problem. And that way, it gives you the opportunity to grow. The way I wrote my first book, let me give you my example. The way I wrote my first book is not the way I have written my second book. And the way I'm going to write my third book is definitely not the same way I've written the second book. Because the more I'm writing, I'm getting more exposure. I get to know why is certain group don't want to read my book. Maybe there's a specific reason. So I ask myself, how can I be able to be able to adjust my writing, to be able to fit these people and reach out to them. Yeah, so what will be the pleasure of you shifting? Yeah, for me, the pleasure of shifting to the belief that maybe Kenyans don't read is the fact that I have grown in my writing. I have grown in my talks. Like, if you listen to a video I did like a year ago and you listen to a video that I do right now, you feel the difference. What would be the pleasure of shifting? That is the second question. Ask yourself these questions. Answer them. You can write them down, or you can just ask them yourself those questions as a meditation. Actually, this is actually one of the ways you can use to find out solutions or to questions in your life. Just generate questions, leading questions. Maybe you want to make a decision in your life and you don't know how you can make that decision. You can write questions down. I write just questions like, who am I? What do I want? What do I want to achieve in the next 5 years? What is holding me from achieving that? You can write those questions down and maybe find suitable time to answer yourself those questions. You can also maybe record those questions and then at a suitable time, just sit down and relax and play them. And as you play them, listen. Give yourself time to think about them, and that way you'll be able to answer questions that you thought you didn't have answers for. Or maybe you can give a friend, somebody who is your close confidant, and they can ask you those questions and then you can answer them. And that way you can be able to find answers to you. Questions in your life that you thought you didn't have answers for. So the third question you are asking ourselves was, what would be the pleasure of shifting? Okay, the other thing, after shifting, 5 years to come, how would I be describing myself? Yes, 5 years to come, how would I be describing myself? For me, you ask me how I would be describing myself? Well, I'd be describing myself as a motivational speaker who have transformed lives. Yes, that would be my description. What about you? 5 years from now, after overcoming your limiting beliefs, how will you be describing yourself? Okay, the fifth thing that I want you to ask yourself to do, actually I want you to do this, is, yes, formulate new beliefs. Formulate new beliefs. For example, if I hold on to a belief that, well, motivational speaking or life coaching does not pay, then I'll always settle for less. I go talk to people, I don't get paid, and I don't even get appreciated. I'm like, it's okay. Yeah, so my new belief, I can formulate new belief and say, well, motivational speaking and life coaching does pay. And you can add this as an evidence. Well, people tend to commit to what they invest in. If, for example, we are to do a life coaching session with you and you pay for the session, the fact is you will be very committed to that session because you have felt the pinch of of getting that session. But if, for example, that session was free, then somehow you'll tend to be lazy. You'll not be very committed to transition or to transformation. Yeah, so if I formulate a belief that, well, life coaching and motivational speaking does pay, that is a belief, and that will encourage me to do more and more of what I'm doing. You get it? So formulate new belief. Tell yourself, maybe you want to write. Well, establish new belief. Well, yes, there may be a big percentage of Kenyans who don't read, but there is also a good percentage of them that do read. You want to sing. Formulate a new belief. Well, I may not be there yet, but I believe that I will get there. I have the voice. I am enough. I am abundant. God has given me the ability. If God has given me the ability, He's going to sustain me and help me to achieve the best that He has put in me. Okay? And the other thing, look for evidences in your life. This is the last action, or the last exercise I want us to do. Look for evidences in your life that will support your new belief. Like, for example, you want to become a motivational speaker and you feel so scared. You feel like you cannot be able to stand before people and talk to them. So what is your supporting evidence? Maybe there is somewhere you went and you stood before people and you talked to them. Maybe it is one person or two people. Those are people. The fact remains that they are people. And as you get to it, as you stand before people, the first time may be a little bit weird, the second time a little bit weird, and the third time you'll already have overcome it. So don't let your limiting beliefs prevent you from becoming the best that God has created you to become. Have you enjoyed today's video? If you have enjoyed, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And in case you have not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe, and I'll appreciate. And also don't forget to click the notification bell so that you can get updates every time I post a new video. Do have an enjoyable time, and may God make you smile throughout the day. And also, maybe you're watching it at night, may God give you a peaceful night.